It is DomiNations time, and I welcome you back, my friends, to another episode of Frequently Asked Questions. And so on, I got over now four major topics, or four major questions, which I received, and which I felt not being able to answer adequately during the YouTube comment section. Therefore, I want to take some time to explain it for you. First on, I got some not requests, but some comments or some responses from you that last time when I did my frequently asked questions video, I did some multiplayer attacks every time between one question and the next one, and I should not do this. So in total, it's your wish is my command, and so I will only deal now about the frequently asked questions and not do any more multiplayer attacks or so on. But I can give you a little base update. So I changed the alliance, like I told you. 2 alliances which invited me. I was unable to join. There was just no button for joining, actually. When we look over here, I got invited by One for All, and I set them to my list of preferred alliances, where we have One for All. Where we have them. Yeah, over here we have. And when I'm clicking at them, over here, there's quite no window for joining, and it's quite no matter because it's not in connection to the fact that I am currently in an alliance. When I was without an alliance, I also could not join them. That's pretty mysterious. So I skipped them and decided to go in the order for the next alliance, which invited me. Therefore, I'm currently at Fresh. I'm not pretty sure which nation or which ethnic this alliance is. Most of the players are speaking English. It's a very friendly alliance, and I see many skilled players over here, especially the higher ones, such as the Butcher, which is also, I think, having a YouTube channel with some strong attacks. We already fought against Fresh and stalemated because of strong participants at both sides. They were also so kind to take me with them into the World War. And war will be against some foreign Russian alliance. I already scouted enemy bases, and the names of the enemies are actually pretty used to me. So I think we at Teletubbies already also warred at them, which could be very could be very possible because of the nearly equal strength of my alliance and Fresh's alliance. And so, but there is also another really confusing thing. At our side, we have quite some top players, it's obviously, and Steve Landia, the onlyest Atomic Age player, a rushed Atomic Age player, but nevertheless Atomic Age player, is so number 2 at Fresh side. And he was also donating to all war bases, so all of the war bases have pretty strong defense troops inside the town centers with amazing values. But then, without any word, he left the alliance, and also all leaders and councils have no clue where he went. And I think this behavior is pretty messed up. I really don't like this, very especially. Ordinary, I'm always saying everybody can do what he wants to do if he is not influencing or affecting other ones in a negative way, but this is a very negative way. If you are participating in World War and then leaving the alliance without any clue, you are just harming all of them because they have to compensate these 2 lost attacks. But okay, it is like it is, so you'll deal about. I think I will go for enemy number 2. Yeah. Let's go to the FAQs, so to the frequently asked questions, which received me. First, we have the revenge conditions. And about revenge conditions, there are some specific aspects I want to mention for you. First on, the most important thing about whether you will be able to take a revenge or whether not, I considered out or I recognized are the medal count at all. So if you are at a very low medal count, players will not tend to use their use their peace treaties like I do, for example. So when I got attacked, someone, for example, crashed my base or only took the town center, I got a peace treaty. But then when I'm coming online, there is no use of peace treaties because you don't need to. You are not playing for your medals. You are just crashing the peace treaty very often, going for another attack and then getting offline again. So when you got attacked at these low medal ranks, actually I think from 200 up to 1,200, 1,400, it's approximately. You can't say there is a specific border. You can quite easily go to the defense log and take revenge on other ones. But if you are getting higher with your medals, especially if you are at above 2,000 medals, medals are getting essential, and you want to stay and to have as many medals as possible. And then peace treaties also are getting a more important role. When you are getting online and you have a peace treaty, you will definitely not attack to crash the peace treaty. And therefore, when you are getting attacked above 2,000 medals, it is nearly completely impossible to take revenge at all. When I was at 2,800 medals, I also recognized there is no possibility at all. So guys, don't be frustrated. It's about all guys. So all other guys feeling the same like you. It's not only about you. Another thing about revenge conditions. When you are going to a revenge, you have three options of, let's see over here, three options of respawns you are getting from the game. The first is the enemy has a peace treaty. So if the enemy has a peace treaty, this means he is offline and he already got attacked. In my opinion, it is like if you get a peace treaty, most of the players are not immediately getting online again and smashing it. So the chance or the opportunity that the peace treaty will end within the next minutes or hours is pretty small, I think, and therefore there is no sense to go on and repeatedly hitting the revenge button. You can also have the respawns from the game that the other player is quite not online, which means in total that the other player is currently online, so it is not online or available for a revenge of your side. This means also that the other player probably is already active for about 3 hours and will go offline within the next minutes, but mostly it is very unsure to see when the enemy will get offline, and also there the opportunity to get a revenge is very low. I also recommend to you not try it all anymore. But if you are getting to the revenge and you are getting the third possible respawns from the game, the enemy is still under attack. This is a pretty good example, because then you can just easily get, with some logical calculations, an attack can maximum last about 3 minutes and 30 seconds. So in total you have also some scouting time, and there is some delay in the matchmaking. So for approximately 5 up to in the highest cases 6 and the 6.5 minutes, the enemy could be under attack. Probably even a little bit less. So if you are really, I don't know the word, if you are focused and if you are going all the time for the repeat button, if the enemy is currently under attack, and if you are repeating, then after 6 minutes you will, I think with a chance of about 95%, get the opportunity to revenge to the enemy. So guys, hopefully this answered your questions about the peace treaties or revenge conditions. As next, I got questioned about Angkor Wat. Okay, so about the Angkor Wat. The Angkor Wat is our gunpowder age wonder. So in my opinion, an equivalent or an opponent of the Versailles. And when we are talking about the Angkor Wat, we have some healing of troops in a very huge range. So the Angkor Wat is quite a very strong wonder, especially when it is combined, for example, with the location of an Acropolis and effecting bunkers as well as tank depots. In my opinion, nevertheless, it's a subjective opinion, but in my opinion, the Versailles is still state of the art, the best world wonder in the gunpowder age, and nearly the best world wonder, one of the best world wonders at all, because you are getting very strong defense as well as offense boosts. Currently, the troop health boost of 10% is not only affecting defense as well as offense, but in future, with the soon implementing or being implemented 5.3 update, there will be not any longer 10% health boost for our planes, transporters and bombers, but nevertheless all of our barrack troops, all of our factory troops will get this 10% boost. What is pretty bad about the Angkor Wat, in my opinion, is you have to place it to the inner side of the base, because with destroying the Angkor Wat, also the effect is gone. And with the Versailles has still an imminent or a permanent effect, which you cannot destroy by destroying the building. That's, in my opinion, what makes the Versailles quite the best world wonder in the Gunpowder Age. And so, yeah, I think that were all of my opinions about it. Next is a World War strategy. I already mentioned it in the last alliance where I was. There is the... Oh, what's that for a bug? In the last alliance there is the strategy which is called as high as possible and as low as necessary to attack. And it's pretty economic. And one of my subscribers answered me below the video, hey, that's a pretty cool strategy. We are also using it. In total, there is quite nothing about the strategy, nothing to complain, but there is a little problematic, especially if you are considering that some players may not be that self-confident and that experienced in the game, because if you are now thinking about an alliance where everybody wants to prove, everybody wants to get respected, and everybody wants to be experienced or to get seen by other players as experienced. When you are now saying you need to get 5 stars and therefore attack as high as possible but as low as necessary, there are many players I recognized which are orientating themselves at as low as necessary, even more than as high as possible. So, if you get weak enemies, no problem, all players will attack and nearly all players will get 5 stars. And this is a very nice picture, it looks pretty good, but if you are going then in detail to all of the attacks, you will see many players attacked below or even equal to their own ages. But that is no progress. There you have no progress. If you are all time attacking the same ages, when I only have to attack some industrial ages, it is quite boring for me, because with industrial age layouts I have quite no problem. It's getting struggling if you have to attack one or even more than one age above your own age, and there you can pretty much learn and gain some experience for future ages you will get in. Therefore, in my alliance, I'm pretty not calling this system or not using this system. I have the mirror system, which is nearly the same, like as high as possible, as low as necessary, but for the first attack, if we are not assigning special target jets at very strong alliances, but with the second attack, I try to motivate, especially lower or less experienced players to attack for stronger enemies. So for enemies where they are approximately not getting 5 stars. When I'm asking them, hey, you are number 10, what's now with enemy number 5? He's answering to me probably, oh, I definitely get no 5 stars. Then I'm repeating, or I'm responding to him, so get for this enemy. Try enemies which are stronger than you, not ridiculous stronger enemies. So if there is a global age maxed base, I won't recommend for an enlightenment age player, but I'm definitely saying try at least to attack one age above your own age to gain experience, because it's definitely possible if the enemy has not a very, very nearly perfect base layout and huge walls and all of that. It's for good players definitely possible to get at least 5 stars, one age above their self bases, and that's what I recognized. What is about really strong players? Strong players are not only able to get ages which are equal to their own, but strong players are more than able to attack ages which are even above their own. And I think these as high as possible, as low as necessary strategy is at all a little bit weak at this point, because you are indeed getting a very economic an economic result if you are using it, and you are getting very many 5 stars, but the progress is not maximized. If you are only going for the littlest effort with the maximum of outcome, then this is okay. But if you have an enemy alliance where only or most of the players are stronger than yourself, I think the system is quite not working. So I talked very much about this now. Hopefully this was explained understandable from my point of view. It's a pretty complex situation or aspect. At least we have open or closed base layouts. Okay, so I got a question. I got also, I don't know the word, motivated or assigned from the butcher of the alliance over here to talk about base layouts which are open, also which have chambers which have on purpose some openings in it, and with about base layouts which are completely closed. If we are talking now about the differences about both base layouts, we have one minor aspect and one major aspect. The minor aspect is all troops will, if you are not rallying them, search for the shortest route or for the shortest way, and often if you are close to these openings, the troops all on themselves will choose these shortest ways. But if you are a little bit far away, and therefore it's only a minor aspect, troops will often get through the wall. But now what's the important and the major aspect about maze layouts, like they are called? So maze layouts only mean that you have some openings in the wall which are not closed. The main and major aspect about maze layouts is the traps for healing cards. And I think on very purpose the developers of big huge games programmed or whatever healing cards. So all healing the AI, the artificial intelligence of all healing units in the game, that there are always focusing on holes in the wall, so on entrances in chambers when you are rallying. So even if you try to rally from here, if you are probably located over here and you want to rally over here, if there is anywhere, it doesn't matter where and it doesn't matter how fucking far away there is an entrance, if you are rallying in, your healing cards will definitely take all the way to get to the entrance and get inside. And that's pretty much the highest intention or the aim of a maze layout, to get rid of the enemy healing cards and so get rid of the enemy supporters. If the enemy has no supporting healing cards, there is first no healing, and second the enemy has quite wasted about 7, 14, probably 21 of his troop spaces just by a false rally. So if you're having just a closed base compartment or some closed chambers at your base, probably World War base especially, then you could just think about getting some strategical openings inside your wall to crash the enemy healing cards, because if you have these entrances in your wall, the enemy has to be strategically by, for example, deploying all of his army except for the healing cards, and then probably waiting until they got through the wall or rallying them inside, and when there is already a hole, then dropping his healing cards. Or even the enemy is getting forced by this maze layout that he has to rally on walls or even use some wall sappers. In total, maze layout with open wall entrances will make the attack pretty much harder for enemy attackers, and therefore I can only recommend it for you. But be careful, entrances can also harm or weaken your own base. You have to place them at strategical points. So make the enemy run the longest way. It is not sensible to have probably 2 layers of wall and place your your maze entrances, like I did, for example, very close to another, so that the enemy has a straight route through your base. Make more about, like I told you, get the enemy the longest way, probably over here and over here. It's only an example, so that the enemy has to run to the complete inner side and then use your traps wisely. You can, for example, use your barbed wire in front of, I already made a video about barbed wire. You can use your barbed wire in front of some mines. I'm not using over here because of the Versailles, but this is a special meaning. Ordinary, I'm using my barbed wire in front of mines because landmines and spike traps only have a specific restrictive radius, so they are not very big if you are looking. Other traps have a way further range. These landmines have quite not, but they are very powerful. So if you have your barbed wire in front of them, enemy troops will get stuck up and accumulate because of the troops behind are faster than the troops in forward. Then they will stack up, and then more troops in total are getting to your landmines, which will increase the total effect of the landmines. So, but this about base layouts, I'm getting too detailed now. Yeah, hopefully I could explain everything you asked me and get to the points you wanted to ask and you wanted to know. Let me know, guys, if you have any more concerns or questions about the game. We'll see you soon. Your DomiNation tips.